We're going to be talking about using the Format Painter. And of course, you can dramatically change the appearance of text by applying different font styles, font effects, and character spacing effects. For example, you can use the buttons in the font group to make text darker by applying bold, or to make it the text slanted on there by applying the italic. When you are satisfied with the formatting of certain text, you can quickly apply the same formats to other text using the Format Painter. And the Format Painter is a powerful word feature that allows you to copy all of the format settings applied to selected text to other text that you want to format the exact same way. And what this really does is that instead of having to make multiple changes to the different text, we can use this Format Painter, in which that will allow us to copy all of the formatting that we've done to the text and copy to other areas. If we take a look on step 1 on page Word 52, it tells us that we want to select immediate booking is essential in the first body paragraph. So we take a look here, and here's the partial sentence right here, which is on the second line. Once we do that on here and we select, so immediate booking is essential, or we just want to select immediate booking is essential. Once you have this selected, the mini toolbar should appear right above it. And then what we want to do is we want to bold this, so we're going to click on the bold button. And then next, once we have that, we want to select this entire paragraph. And of course, you can use any method that you would like to select this entire paragraph. But once you do that, of course, the mini toolbar will reappear. And then what we want to do is we want to apply the italic effect to this text. So we're going to click on the I for italic. And of course, now the phrase immediate booking is essential is bold and italicized, and while the remaining part of the paragraph is italicized, or they're in italic. Now, step 2 tells us that we want to select the last minute travel deals, and we're going to click on the launcher in the font group. So we're going to select last minute travel deals, and then we're going to click on this launcher in the font group. And the launcher is the little button in the lower right hand side of each of the groups. And when we click on that, it's going to open up the font dialog box. Now here you can use the options on the font tab to change the font style, size, and color of text. And you can also add in an underline and apply font effects to text. Now, of course, to change the case of selected text, and this is a tip for you on here, you can also use if you want to do this from lowercase to uppercase or vice versa, you can use this change case button, which is right up here on there. It has a big A and a little a, and then you can use that to change the case of the document. It's actually very important if you've ever used your caps lock button, have capitalized everything but the first letter, you can actually toggle the case on there as well, so that it will make the first letter capitalized and the remaining letters lowercase. And on step 3 on this case here, we want to scroll down the size list here. So very similar to the size list arrow, we want to scroll down here until we see 48. And we're going to click on the 48, making this a size 48 font. Of course, down here we'll notice that there's a preview that's going to show us part of the text, as we see here. Then next, we're going to click on the font color list arrow, which is right here, and we're going to click on the blue accent 5, which is here at the top, and we see here's blue accent 1, and we move over a little bit, directly one space to the right of the green accent 6, and here's our blue accent 5, and we want to click on that to make that blue. Then next, we're going to click on the text effects button on here. And of course, with that, that is down here at the bottom. When we click on that, that is going to have and open up the text effect menu that will pop up here. Now, of course, and the Format Text Effect dialog box opens up with this, and the text fill and outline options are going to be displayed. You can also use this dialog box to apply text effects such as shadow, reflection, and 3D effects to the text. On step 4, we want to click the text effects icon here in the dialog box. And here we go. This is the text effects button here in the dialog box. When we click on that, we notice that we get some different options here. In this case, we're going to click on shadow. And of course, that is going to allow us to set a shadow to this text. Then we're going to click on the presets list arrow, which is right over here. We click on the presets list, and we notice that it gives us some different options for presets shadows. What we're going to do is we're going to click the offset diagonal bottom right preset, which is in the outer section. And once again, to determine out which one it is, you just put your mouse pointer over it and it will give you the name of the preset. And which in this case, we see that there it is, the offset diagonal bottom right. So we want to click on this, and you'll notice that all the settings have been changed for this. Then we want to go ahead and on here as well. Once we do that, we're going to click on OK, and then we're going to click on OK again. And then notice that now the text has been changed. It's larger, blue, and has a shadow effect. Now you can deselect the text so you can see the shadow effect here. Now you can also apply text effects using the text effects and typography button in the font group. Now step 5 tells us that we want to select the last minute travel deals again, because we notice that now it's spilling onto 2 separate lines where the font has been made larger. We're going to right click this selected text, and we're going to click on the font button here. So when we click on this font button on the menu that opened up, notice it takes us back to the font dialog box. Then next we're going to click on the Advanced tab. Then we're going to click on the scale list arrow here and turn this from 100% down to 80. Then we're going to go ahead and click on OK. Now, of course, you use the Advanced tab in the font dialog box to change the scale or width of the selected characters. And of course, to alter the spacing between the characters or to raise or lower the characters. Now, what we just did is that we decreased the scale of the characters, which makes them a little bit narrower and gives the text a tall, thin appearance. Now, it's still the same font size, it still has the same font effects, but it just made them a little bit taller and a little bit more narrow. Now we want to go ahead and deselect our text, and we're ready to move on to step 6. Now step 6 tells us that we want to scroll down and we want to select the heading Camel Safari. When we click on this Camel Safari here, we're going to use the mini toolbar that appears, and first of all we're going to click on the font list arrow, and we're going to change this to the Trebuchet MS. Once we have that selected, we're going to use the mini toolbar here again, and we're going to make this bold and italics. And then we're also going to change the font color of this to the blue accent 5. There's the blue accent 5. And then we're going to deselect the text. So now this subheading is formatted in the Trebuchet MS bold, italic, and blue. Now what we're going to do is we're going to copy this formatting onto other areas. So to do this, first of all, we want to select our text. Once we have that selected, we're going to click on the Format Painter button in the clipboard group. And when you click on that, you'll notice that your mouse pointer has changed to an I-beam pointer, but with a little brush next to it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to scroll down the document a little bit more, and we are going to select these words right here, the Mahara Experience. When we select this text and release our mouse button, you'll notice that the subheading now is formatted in the Trebuchet MS with bold, italic, and blue. And we can deselect that, and we notice that the same font styles are here. That is a much quicker way than going through and making those additional changes, either using the mini toolbar or the ribbon up here. Next, we're going to scroll up a little bit to where we see the Rashahan Desert Safari, and we're going to select it. And this is step 9. Once we have that, we're going to select this, and this time we're going to double click the Format Painter button. Because we noticed that when we selected the Rashahan Desert Safari, it didn't change like the Mahara experience. But when we double click the Format Painter, what we're doing is that we are telling it and allowing it to remain active until we turn it off. Now when you click it one time, it's a one-use feature. However, when you double click it, it's going to remain on until you turn it off. And of course, to turn it off, all you have to do is click on Format Painter again. And of course, by keeping the Format Painter active, you can apply formatting to multiple items. And the items that we're going to change is that first of all, we're going to change right here where it says Inca Highlands Explored. We're going to select this text, and you'll notice it changes. And notice that our mouse pointer still remains as the Format Painter. We're going to scroll down a little bit more, and we're going to select Everest Base Camp Trek. Then next, we're going to scroll down, and we're going to select Cycling in Providence. Once we have that, we can go ahead and click back on the Format Painter, and notice that that turns off the Format Painter. Once you have that, just go ahead and save your document. Now, another way that we can call attention to text and really to jazz up the appearance of a document is to apply an underline style to the words that you want to highlight. And of course, we use that very similar to how we modify the other text, and that is just by selecting it and then clicking on the underline button here as well. And of course, there is also a list arrow next to it in the font group, and then that's going to allow you to see the different types of underlines that you can have for a document. You'll see that there are straight lines, dotted lines, wavy lines, dashes, and different other types of mixed underline styles. And there's a lot of other gallery colors that you can choose from as well, instead of just the traditional black that's on here. And of course, for a wider variety of underline styles, you can always click on the More Underlines, and of course then that's when you can go through and make some other changes here as well. And of course, this is when we take a look at this, it tells us that when we click on the More Underlines in the list, then we can select an underline style in the font dialog box that's on there. We notice that here's some more of the underline styles that are available. Of course, we're going to go ahead and click on Cancel because we do not want to add an underline to this, but that just shows you how that you can modify your text by underline. Now make sure that you do save your document and you're ready to move on to video 3, in which we're going to be talking about changing line and paragraph spacing.